Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I've opposed that witch from the day she was foisted upon us for one reason. You want to hear the reason? Did you just lose your breath? She's not the nice old lady that you think she is. This witch was the former chief counsel for the ACLU. That should have disqualified her from the get-go. She's a radical left-wing fanatic. She ran the legal department of the ACLU. It didn't stop the rotten Republicans from ushering her across the aisle into that position, and she has poisoned the Supreme Court from the day she arrived on that Supreme Court with her alligator breath. She's a terrible human being, a vile human being, an anti-American human being, a biased human being. So you're shocked that she did something that's out of bounds for a Supreme Court justice? When Donald Trump becomes president, I'd like to know if he can begin impeachment proceedings against the witch. I don't care if they put a liberal on, which they probably will do, but let it not be someone from the ACLU. Let us have a shot at some objectivity. You never had a chance with that. That's an old story for me. I've known who she was. I study things. This is an evil woman. They'll be like picking, let me put it this way, because sometimes I have to reverse things for you to understand it. Let's say Trump becomes president, and he goes and finds the chief counsel for the Ku Klux Klan, who doesn't wear robes, but he's the lawyer for them. And he says, well, I don't really espouse everything the KKK does, but I represent them. And he picks that person and nominates that person to be on the Supreme Court. What would happen? Ruth Bader Ginsburg is the equivalent on the other side. That's right, and I stand by those words. And sometimes you have to reverse things for people to understand the reality of things. I understand reality very well. I have a perfectly logical mind when it comes to politics. I was going to also ask him a few other questions, which I didn't get to. Would your future Attorney General prosecute Hillary Clinton for endangering our national security? Vicious group supported by George Soros, funded by George Soros, who gave them over $30 million in order to upset America. I'll tell you this, and I'll make it very clear. If Trump becomes president, he should have George Soros hunted down and brought to America for trial against the trial for crimes against the American people, let alone crimes against Europe. What that monster has done to this world. The Open Societies Institute? Do you have any idea what that means? Do you know what that monster has done to European civilization? That monster! And do you know what that monster has done to America? One man could destroy a whole world. One man can save a whole world. George Soros is a destroyer of worlds. A genius destroyer of worlds who's taken his great wealth that he got through money changing in the Temple of Sanity. And what did he do with this money? He used it to destroy European civilization. He's using his fortune to destroy American civilization. He has to be hunted down and brought to trial by the Trump administration. Him and his entire family of deviants. You heard me. I'm not going to mince words. I can't. The time is too late. And by the way, I write about this. And all the others, by the way, who have to be tried. There should be tried. You say, what are you, crazy? No, I'm not crazy. We have been on trial in this country for 8 straight years. Everyone who thinks straight, acts straight, everyone who wants to live straight has been on trial from the monster in the White House and from his attorney general monsters. We've been on trial! And it's time to put them on trial. If Trump, now you understand why they hate him and why they fear him. They know that there's going to be retribution because they know better than we do what they've done to this country and the world. And they know that we know. And they're hanging on by a thread. Every last one of these criminals have to be tried for what they have done and are doing to this world and to this country. And by the way, I have a whole list of them in Scorched Earth. If you think they're alone, you're mistaken. There are organizations that you would not believe so deeply embedded in this society that are on a daily basis undermining the fabric of our society, unraveling it. I list them all. I list them all in Scorched Earth, which will be out right after Labor Day, in my last-ditch attempt to awaken America, to awaken the blimps, the floating blimps, the ice cream suckers, the ice cream lickers, I call them. Who was it who painted that famous painting, The Potato Eaters? Was it Was it Van Gogh? I think so. In Arles. The potato eaters. Well, if I could paint, I would paint the ice cream lickers. It would be the blimps on Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, with the cone in the hand. The blimps. The little Hindenburgs floating by. Well, I'm glad I got that out of my... Welcome back to the show. Ruth Rotten Girl Binberg, whatever her name is, has violated the Code of Conduct for the Supreme Court. Supreme Court Code of Conduct forbids involvement in political campaigns. She has absolutely violated that. It's not a matter of taste. She has to be impeached and thrown out. She has to be thrown out. She must be impeached today. But what, the liver lily Republicans are going to do anything? Who? Paul Ryan? No, I don't think so. He's busy pumping iron with the earbuds on, looking at himself in the mirror. All right, let's see what the people themselves have to say. Let's go to the callers around America on the interview, the first 7 minutes. The second half of the interview will be heard on this show. Man, I blew out all the stops in the organ with that. You have no idea. Hey, let me tell you something. I have so much rage in me from what's being done to this country by the monster in the White House and by his minions and by these fellow travelers who have destroyed this country. And I have an outlet. I have an outlet on this show every day. I reach millions of people. I can't imagine what you're feeling. I can't imagine what the average Eddie out there is feeling, who is pent up and his mouth has been sewn shut by these left-wing rats, these fascist bastards. Fascists! There's a war going on in the streets. And I warned you a year ago that Obama would use his thugs. I warned you he would make an army of his thugs. Did I not say that to you over and over again? Did I envision in America that when it comes near the election, he'll use his street thugs as his personal army? I warned you that. We're only one step away from this monster in the White House, this revolutionary monster, deputizing them and giving them weapons to make them enforcers in the streets of America, triggering a civil war. And if you think he won't do it, I pray to God you know more about him than I do. I better take a break because I'm about to blow out another organ stop on the show and I can't do it. Back in a minute.